All right, so I want to start a video series on the home build. It has slowly been progressing. We're getting close to winter here. The temperature's down. It was, I think, on Tuesday this week or Monday, it was 8 degrees. So progress has been slow. But I kind of wanted to show what I've done so far as the plan, preliminary planning for as far as estimates and kind of a preliminary timeline. And just kind of some general stuff like that. Not going to get into too great of detail, but just kind of wanted to show how I'm starting this. And this may not necessarily be the way that you would start it or any production builder or whatnot, but I am using my past knowledge from doing this with my dad and grandparents, and actually my daily. You know, I build conveyors for a living, so I project manage that. So I'm kind of tilted more that way, but you know, the process is more or less the same, just a different outcome. So anyway, without further ado, I thought I'd show how I started off with the plan. So we had a couple ideas here, and this is AutoCAD, because I use AutoCAD every day. And don't judge me, yes, I am still running Windows 7 because I'm holding out as long as possible, but we'll be upgrading to Windows 10 soon because we're going to be forced to. The way that this works out is we had found some kind of plans that we had found online, some ideas that we kind of liked. So I think there's 3 of these. If I remember correctly, 2 of these are the same, just slightly different. But nonetheless, I kind of had some plans to start with, and so what I did was I took those and I kind of started drawing. Actually on paper, and I can't find those pieces of paper anywhere. I keep everything, but I can't seem to find those. I started kind of sketching on paper, kind of just basic room layout, where I wanted the bedrooms, where's the bathrooms, walkways, you know, kitchen, garage, etc., you know, stuff like that. And I kind of came up with this plan over here, and then it kind of combined into this here. So we kind of took some elements from up here and started kind of combining and kind of getting a general idea of kind of what we wanted to do, how we wanted the rooms to lay out. And as you can see, we kind of go down here and we kind of start progressing. You know, I start adding a little more detail to kind of get a little more realistic. Starting putting in, you know, bathrooms, and then kind of, you know, playing with the rooms a little bit. So as you can see, it kind of progresses. You know, this original in this plan, I think this was, if I remember correctly, the closet, and then it turned into a small closet with a bathroom. It just kind of kept going, and I actually went home and I measured my furniture and put it in here to kind of get a little more scale to it. Just kind of kept playing with it. And then here I am, I was playing with the roof and how deep the basement's going to be for stairs, so setting landing heights and stuff like that, because I originally had a straight stair, and then I went to a stair that went to a landing and turned 90 degrees and went down to the basement. So playing with that. Again, I'm not going to get into details of how I determined all that at this point, but in a later date, I'll kind of show how, you know, I arrived at, you know, top of concrete to top of wood, you know, to figure all that out. Same kind of thing here. I started kind of throwing dimensions on it, a little feedback with my wife. We kind of changed things around, just playing with things to see what we wanted to do. And at this point, the plan flipped. So what I wanted to do is this side of the house over here, this side here, is actually south. So I wanted to flip it because up here, the south side and the west side would have been these bedrooms and just cooking these bedrooms. So what I did was I flipped it so that this side was garage. This is a master closet, master bath, laundry, and then garage. So there's nothing really on that side of the house that's habitable, you know, all the time, like a bedroom or a you know, like a family room or anything like that. So that's why the house flipped. It worked better with the lot layout. I'll show that here in a minute, kind of how I envisioned the shop going in there. But again, just kind of kept going and playing along, playing with things, just kind of tweaking things ever so slightly here, pushing and pulling. See if I can go back up here. You know, no. What I tried to start doing was, being an engineer, I like boxes, square things. I don't like a bunch of jiggity-jaggedy stuff. So what I started doing was lining up the roofs. So we got a roof system here that runs across here and here, and then one that runs the length of this thing. So it's kind of a T. So we've got a roof system going this way and one going this way with a couple gables coming out. I just like it simple like that. Makes it easy to frame, makes it cheaper to frame. Corners cost money, so yeah, there are some in here, but it just kind of worked with the layout of what we were doing. And you can see I got down to here to this point, and I started kind of thinking about the roof, how I wanted to do the roof. So I've got the four sides of the house. So this is kind of what the front was looking like at that point. So I've kind of got a gable on this little thing here, a gable here. This is a hip over here. And you can kind of see, I don't want to go through it all here, but just kind of the progression of how we got to what we got to. So again, I'm not an architect. I did have some architecture classes in school because my degree is actually in architectural engineering. So we had a little bit of architecture, but this is just kind of my basic knowledge. So I kind of got to a point where I thought that we liked it. So, and then we started kind of playing with it some more. And then we decided maybe we want a 3-car garage. So a 3-car garage wouldn't fit going the way it was, so I did a front entry instead of a side entry. So we started kind of playing with that, playing with room sizes. And then we got down here, and this is actually a foundation plan for my excavating quote and my foundation quote. Just kind of playing with things. And, I've set it up so that linearly they get newer as I go this way. And if then something happens to, like, say, this one, I kind of play with them along the line here. So you kind of seen that. So which gets us down here to where we're at right now. So this is kind of where I got it to this point right here that has everything I think I want in here, kind of the rough sizes of what I want, square footage and all that. So the architect, when I hand it off to him, can do what they need to do to make this thing, to maximize the square footage, the usage that is, so there's no wasted space, anything like that. So I'm not very creative with that. I do know that my strict requirement was the garage was to remain the same, because right now I have a 3-car garage in my house and I can barely fit 2 cars in it. It is microscopic. So as crazy as this thing sounds, this is actually a 30 by 40 garage attached to the house, because garage doesn't cost as much as finished space inside the house, and you only build it once. So I'm going big. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm doing it. There will be a shop, but I want to have plenty of room now. Shop's not going to go in for a while, so I need room for the mower, all the kids' stuff, and whatever else. So I got my wife's car, my car, the truck. So just want to make sure we have room. So this is what I actually handed off to the architect. He has worked on a preliminary plan here real quick, and I'm actually going to show you that here real quick. So this is kind of the preliminary plan of what he did. So he took what I had and kind of pushed and pulled and squeezed and kind of reconfigured it. It's actually a little bit smaller square footage-wise, which is always a good thing, but has everything I want. The room sizes stay the same, but he just utilized square footage a whole lot better. This is the first draft, like I say, so there's actually going to be some changes to this, just some tweaking. He gave us a couple options for the master to kind of work with flow a little bit better than what we have, and he kind of did some stuff over here. But so that's kind of how I did it. So if you are actually doing this, and you have the ability to design like I am, I mean, I use that term loosely, design, but if you have the ability to kind of sketch up what you're looking for the architect to give him an idea, this is kind of how I did it. If you're doing this and you don't really have any access to AutoCAD or any sort of drafting utilities, then you kind of, draw on paper, and, there's a whole bunch of steps that you wouldn't be taking that I took on this thing. So you would actually go straight to the architect and kind of work out what you want. But this is kind of how I did it. This is where I'm at as far as the drawings. So far, everything's great. Like I say, the house is actually physically smaller, but it still has the same amount of room, if that makes any sense. Just really good at utilizing space. Yes, I know this house is actually rather large. We set out, we wanted this thing to be 2,000 square feet maximum, and we have exceeded that. But this is kind of our forever house. So, I don't want to build this again. So, I may change my tune 20 years down the road when all the kids are gone. But right now, this is a good house for us that utilizes, it just encompasses everything we need. It's got all the bedrooms on one floor. Everything's on one floor. It's a ranch. So it's got a kid's wing on this end, and then our wing's on that end, kind of separating it with a nice open floor plan in the middle here. It's everything we want. It's similar to the house we have now, except ours is a 2-story, but we don't want stairs. My wife grew up on a farm with no stairs, And I'm kind of getting that way too. I don't want to deal with stairs, up and down the stairs, because I feel like with the kids, I'm up and down the stairs 100 times a day. So, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. The progress is moving along. It's been slow. Work's been slow, just with the election year and everything. So just kind of they pumped the brakes a little bit. They still have not put a road in to where we're trying to buy the land. So I don't know what's actually going on with that. It seems like every week it's a different story, which actually works to my benefit because, it kind of pushes it off a little bit further so that we can get some business and get some money flowing again. But yeah, so that's kind of how I got to this point and how I arrived at my floor plan, how I arrived at kind of my layout, where everything's kind of going, the process that I used from paper to the computer to the architect, and then to red lines. I'm actually going to show that here in a second, kind of red lines and how we're starting that process now. And we just actually started this process 2 weeks ago with the architect. So we've gone from nothing to this in 2 weeks. So architects, they work fast. So, yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get the camera flipped around here and I'll kind of show you some of the other processes. All right, so this is like I said, this was my original drawing that I drew that I handed off to the architect, and then this is the drawing that he drew. It's actually upside down, but as you can see, we're kind of already starting to redline things, just kind of how we want to maybe tweak just a little bit here, some stuff here. We just started that process to kind of the back and forth, and you will do this too with an architect, unless you buy a set of plans online or something like that. But this is a 100% custom home that is built to exactly what we want. So there's a bit of back and forth part of the process. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So really, at this point, we're just going back and forth. So. And as far as estimating, I have gone through, and I'm actually going to GC this house myself. So I have gone through and started selecting products, if you will. Kind of, what do I want this house to be? What do I want the sheathing to be, the siding to be, the windows to be, plumbing, kind of all these things. So what I did was I actually got online, and I don't have it here with me. I'm going to see if I can't, actually, let me pause the camera real quick. I'll get that out. Okay, now I got the sheet. Sorry about that. What I did was I got on the North American Home Builders Association website, and I had found a report that they had actually from the contractor's perspective, what it costs to build a house on average across the entire United States. That kind of listed some subcategories. I knew kind of the basic, you need a foundation, you need framers, you need, material for the house itself, you need sheathing, you need windows, MEP. MEP, for all those that don't know, is mechanical, electrical, plumbing, which is HVACs, any mechanical system, electrical, and plumbing. So what I did was I kind of took that list and I kind of expanded upon it and added in things that I knew I wanted to do. So this has got site work, foundation, framing, exterior finishes, major systems rough in, interior finishes, final steps, and others. So what I did was I knew, I had this much framing. So I sent it off to my local lumberyard. They did a quick takeoff on it, gave me a rough estimate on what's going to cost for the material to frame the house. Then I knew I needed so much sheathing. So I got an estimate on sheathing. I needed this many windows of this many size. I just kind of, I got on a couple window manufacturers' websites, and I figured out kind of what size windows I wanted to put in and how many. So I got a quote on that from several different manufacturers. I got quotes on literally everything, and everything listed on this piece of paper right here. I went out and got a quote on. Now a lot of these are ballpark quotes. Some of them are just kind of rule of thumb quotes, but I got it all. So I sat down. This entire notebook here is full of nothing but people calling people and getting quotes for the basement, for exterior sheathing, for insulation, for cabinets, for the siding material, foundation waterproofing, silt fence, carpet, just anything and everything. I got quotes on. So I figured out a lot of those things. I figured out how many square footage I needed of, say carpet or, drywall, how much drywall we had in the house. Sent those all out, got those for quote, filled in this little sheet right here, and got myself a kind of a rough budget of what it's going to cost to build this house and a cost per square foot, because I know how many square feet it is. So big part of this is I've been following Matt Reisinger on YouTube, and I don't know if any of you guys have seen his stuff, but he builds creme de la creme houses. His houses are, I bet they start at $2 million and go up to $10 million. I mean, they're probably $900 to $1,000 a square foot. They are crazy houses. So my goal with this is to build a house that is sustainable, energy efficient, and just a good house. I kind of want to. I want a watered down version of what he builds. His houses are excellent, but that's way out of my price range. So I'm going to build a house. Actually, a buddy of mine, Jake Bunton, down in Sedalia, which is just east of here, he builds some amazing houses. That his big thing is he wants to build everything. That build a house that everything's available from the lumberyard. He doesn't want to go and have to special order things. So he goes down there and he builds houses with just materials, like what I've got sitting here. Stuff that they sell, they stock, it's on the shelf, and he builds some amazing houses for the money. And that's kind of where I'm going. I'm heading his direction. I mean, I'm probably not even going to shoot as high as him because his houses are top notch too, and I bet they're a little more than what I'm spending here. But anyway, so this is kind of just a quick general global overview of kind of where I'm starting at right now. I just kind of want to give a little bit of insight into the process of where it's at right now. It's kind of slowly going behind the scenes. As we get closer to actually building the house, it's going to ramp up, and we're going to have more and more details about how things go together, assemblies. We can talk more about budgeting, if anybody wants to talk about that. We can talk about materials, products we're going to be using throughout the house. Anything. We can talk about whatever anybody wants to talk about, because I'm kind of learning on the fly. I have a general knowledge of how houses go together, but this is kind of a learning experience for me as well, using some of these new products here. But that's pretty much it. So I'm going to quit boring you guys now. I'm going to throw in a little clip of the land. I went out to the land a couple weeks ago and did a walk around on it. They finally brush hogged it so I can actually walk out there. It was like 7 feet tall, and they brush hogged it down to a couple feet tall. So I'll put that in here real quick. You can check that out, and we'll go from there. All right, so they brush hogged the field a couple weeks ago, so I can actually walk out here. So this is actually my first time being out here on the land. Sorry, I'm trying to cover up the microphone. It's really windy here today, but it's a lot flatter than I thought it was going to be. From the road, it looked like it had a pretty good slope to it, and from the plot plan, it looked like a good slope to it. But this is it. So right now, I'm standing about where a little further out than the back porch. So this would be one of our property lines, this tree line here, and it's a tree line that runs this way. So this way here is east-west, south to north. Shop's going to go over that way somewhere. So the house will be kind of in this area. Kind of the house will be up in here. And then up here, you really can't see it, but there's kind of a bit of a ridge in the middle of this field. That's where the street's going to be, with a cul-de-sac right here. So we got the nice corner lot. So we kind of are going to be facing that direction south-west. So we're going to be facing more west than south, but trying to orient the house so that the south-facing is going to be the garage, laundry, master bath, master closet. So there's uninhabited spaces, so I don't have to worry too much about attacked by stickers here, but don't have to worry too much about heat. But I'm going to do my best to insulate that wall really well. So I'm trying to orient this house to help with energy, but that's pretty much it for out here. So I'm going to actually make the hike back over to the car and get back in there. So they're supposed to start moving dirt here pretty quick. They got the silt fence up, so hopefully soon. So there's 37 acres here. They're supposed to put, I think, like 20 houses in here. So we're gonna have plenty of room. It's a lot better than the 7 feet between our houses now. So wife grew up on a farm, so this is gonna be perfect. So we're gonna have plenty of room to ride. So north of us is a farm. This is a farm here. It won't be developed as anything but residential because there's actually a fire station just on the other side of this field here, on the other side of the section. It's all farms over there and large lots. So, and actually one of my oldest good friends lives just over behind these trees right here. So they've got like, I think 20 acres over there. So we're kind of out here where there's, out here in the sticks, but so close enough to the city. So it's about perfect. So, yep, that's it for the out here. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. Appreciate everybody watching. Like I say, if you have any questions about any of the process, don't hesitate to ask. If I can't answer it, I can definitely point you in the right direction of somebody who can. I've got a pretty good network of friends and family that build houses and are in construction trades. So, yeah, please ask away down below. And also, you can shoot me emails if you'd like. Also, check out the Instagram. It's Rusty Wrenches on Instagram. Check that out. I've been putting periodically pictures of kind of what I've been up to. I've been on a bit of a hiatus here, so it's been actually it's been over a month since I put a video up. October's always a crazy month. This one was especially crazy, but I kind of took some time off and actually did a little bit of farming, so you guys can see a little of that over there. Anyway, to sum up, this is the house on the lot. So when you watch the video, this is where I'm actually standing right about actually over here. So that's kind of what we're setting up to be, hopefully. Have a shop over here so the driveway comes up and then go over to the shop. That's kind of my plan. The house may actually go back a little bit, but I'm honestly, I may just leave it up there too, less concrete. So we'll kind of see. Depends on the lay of the land and what the city makes me do. But anyway, that's it for today. I hope it wasn't too long, too boring. I appreciate everybody watching. Please like and subscribe. Also, we got stickers available. I'll drop the link down below. I'd love the support. If you guys want to buy a couple stickers, 2 or 3 would look great. So I'll put the link below so we can pick those up and I'll get those mailed out to you. But anyway, appreciate everybody watching. Please like and subscribe, share it, comment, whatever you want to do, man. I want to hear from everybody. So anyway, that's it for today. Talk to you guys later.